Hey everybody, welcome back to JDM World. Today, we're going to take a look at a pair of bookshelf speakers from KEF, the Q350. These things are pretty cool. Now, if you're not familiar with KEF, and I don't know how you wouldn't be because everybody knows KEF, right? These speakers feature the Uni-Q speaker configuration, which means that there's a little tweeter with a bigger woofer around that tweeter, so it looks like one big driver, but it's actually two. It's really cool. If you're not familiar with the technology, you absolutely have to check it out. So in this video, we're going to unbox the speakers. We'll talk about what they've got going on, the specifications, finish, all that kind of stuff. We'll do some measurements. We'll also listen to them so you can get an idea of what these look like in motion, because they're pretty cool to see the way that the speaker cone actually moves, and then I'll give you my thoughts about them. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, drop a comment down below if you're a KEF fan. And with that, let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing. The packing for the two Q350 bookshelf speakers is quite substantial. The box is large, and it's large because there's a lot of foam padding around each of the speakers. This gives more than an inch on either side, on all the sides, for punctures or crushes or any other weird mishap that might come to the box in transit. Once you get the box open, you'll find the speakers themselves and a few accessories. The most important ones are a pair of foam plugs that will seal the back of these speakers to change them from a ported solution to a sealed solution, and some feet that stick on the bottom to give them a little extra grip. The speakers are a two-way bass reflex design featuring the Uni-Q driver array. And what that means is that there is a 1-inch tweeter surrounded by a 6.5-inch mid-range, and that mid-range moves back and forth around that stationary tweeter. It's a pretty cool setup, and you don't see it much outside of the KEF brand. The speakers are rated from 63 Hz to 28 kHz, and have a crossover frequency at 2.5 kHz. Amplification is anywhere from 15 to 120 watts, so you don't need a lot of power for these. Now, the sensitivity of these speakers is 87 decibels, so at that 120 watts, you're probably going to be somewhere around 109, 110 decibels. So this gets above that 105 decibel target that you're looking for. Now, that's at 1 watt, 1 meter, so a little bit farther out, it might be a little bit less, but enough volume to melt your ears if you want them to. Of note, these are rear ported, so you need to consider that when you think about your speaker placement. And the one thing that's not included in the box by default is a pair of grills. Those are an add-on cost of, I think, $50. Now, the speakers look wonderful without grills. However, if you've got kids with fingers that like to poke in things, I would strongly recommend that you protect this investment with a pair of grills, and they look pretty cool. Now that we've got the speakers out of the box, let's take a closer look so you can see exactly what they look like front and back. After that, let's take a look at them in action. I'll record them so you can see what they look like in motion and hear them, kind of. Just remember, this is a reproduction from your phone or some other device, and this is going to be recorded in mono, so it's not really what you're going to hear, but it'll give you an idea of the presence that they have in the room. Now that you've seen the speakers in action, let's take a look at some measurements and see what they're really doing inside of my room. So as I'll talk about in just a little bit, these speakers have kind of a nice chill, relaxed high end, and I think you can really see that in the chart here as they roll off slowly as they approach 20,000 hertz, right? And you can see that kick in right around 600, and then they tend to just generally, kind of dwindle down here. So they're not going to be a very bright speaker, right? So they're not super in your face. They're real relaxed and real chill. And if you don't like that forward tweeter, that forward high end, then these are going to be really good for you. Now on the bass end, they do pretty well. I mean, they roll off right at 35 hertz and they roll off hard. Now I would EQ this out. If you're not running these with a sub, I would EQ this out and flatten this down and probably try and bring a curve, somewhere, peaking out around this 450 hertz and then coming back down and give you a little bit of curve there. But they're fairly competent here on the low end. Now this is all room induced. So this 85 hertz, this is the room, and there's just not much I can do about that. It's kind of the way things are. However, if you use subwoofers, you can fix these kinds of things. The only thing that troubles me, and I'm not sure that this is room induced, is this dip at 200 hertz. Now, I think if I play with the speakers and position them and move them around a bit, we can get rid of that. But this is the only thing that stands out as being interesting to me on the measurement on the curve. And those are the KEF Q350 speakers. Now, before we say goodbye, a few parting thoughts. So first, the sound. I love the sound. They're very mellow on the top end with a very strong bottom end. So if you don't like harsh, kind of hard sounding tweeters, these are going to be perfect for your needs. From a physical point of view, they are super cool. The Uni-Q driver is very visually stimulating. I love to watch them as much as I love to listen to them. The boxes have a great finish on them. They come in 3 different colors. You can do the black, a walnut, or a white. So you can match them to pretty much any decor that you might have. From a cost point of view, they're $700 for the pair, so they're not cheap, but for what you get, I think they're a good value for money. So I'm not sad to spend that kind of money to pick up a pair of speakers of this quality. So, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think about KEF and these speakers in particular if you have them, and we'll see you in the next video.